Hey, what's up guys, I'm Bright Torn and welcome back to Victoria 3 as we are playing as the United States. So first thing we're going to do is we need to make use of this authority for something. Maybe we should use the enactment time. Is there any laws that we might want to work on? And while we could certainly, like for instance, you could go with the old age pensions, you can increase this, further piss off the industrialists if you want to. So there's certainly other things that we can do here. With the right of assembly, we could go all the way to the protected free speech. The intelligentsia and the trade unions would really like us to do that and piss off everybody else, of course. But yeah, I could do that. But you know what? We still do not have a health system here, guys. So we effectively have two choices there: private health insurance or public health insurance. So as far as which one's best, the public health insurance is just going to give you that negative 5% mortality all the time to every pop. And so in that sense, it's probably better because of that reason. Private health insurance, I want to say you can get more of a reduction of mortality, but it's based on wealth. So it's really going to mostly benefit your richest pops. Middle class pops will benefit as well, but the poor pops will not do as well on this one. So it'd probably make the most sense for us to go with public health insurance. But another thing to consider is the industrialists. The industrialists would really like this, and this would get them up to the plus 10, so we'll get the loyal bonuses from them, while they'll absolutely hate this one. So we'll actually go to the negative 10, and we'll be getting negatives from the industrialists. And all you're really doing is improving the opinion of the trade unions, who already really like us. And you're getting up to 26, that's useless. And the evangelicals, who are marginalized, so you don't get any bonus from them. So there's also the interest groups to consider. And so I think we might go ahead and do the private health insurance. Also, it'd be easier to do it because nobody's opposing it. So we can get it passed quicker. Because I would like to see just how high the mortality per wealth can get. Because I've only done this in one of my campaigns, the private health insurance, and I didn't get it very high. I got it up to like level 2 or 3, and so I didn't see just how high it can get it. So I'm wondering if this is in fact better than this one. We'll see, guys. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to see. Like, you probably have to actually look at the individual pops and see what kind of bonuses they're getting from their wealth. But let's go and get these railways building. I meant to do this here in the beginning of the video, and then I forgot. So Pennsylvania, I think, is good, but Delaware is not. So we need to get rails in Delaware going. I'm not sure just how low it is. Let me just take a look. Okay, just negative 9. So you could probably build up 2 levels and be fine there. And I meant to tick that up to top there. So we'll do that here in a minute. So let's go ahead and get some in Pennsylvania as well, seeing that their market access is getting a little bit lower. So this is the main area where we're going to see some infrastructure problems, but we'll kind of dip around and see if there's any other ones and other locations that we've been building a lot. Yeah, you can see Texas could get built up a bit more, probably California as well. Colorado. And Montana. And we'll get them stepped up a little bit. And just really step the rails up. And one reason for this is actually because our motor industry, that's building the engines, is not making a profit right now. So this is one way to increase their revenue. So we're going to get those. And then the other thing we need to get is more government administration buildings. And we're going to get these, I think, Massachusetts, we'll get 2 here. And there's a couple other places that I saw we're getting kind of low as well. I think New Jersey needed one. I'm trying to remember all the places. That might have been it that was really low. Let me just look again. It sucks that you can't see the information you need on that screen. And we're looking at taxation capacity, of course. Yeah, you see that Massachusetts is a little bit low. It wasn't actually New Jersey. Okay, it was somewhere else. Ohio was the other one. I know there's 2 states. So yeah, it was Ohio and Massachusetts. So yeah, we're going to get some government administration buildings here as well. We'll do 2 there. And then the rest of these should probably be built in DC. Or New York. New York might actually have a better bonus now. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, New York could have a better bonus at this point. Because remember, we had gotten that skyscraper there. And was that a 20 or 25? I might be mixing these 2 up. We already actually have quite a bit of government administrations there, though. So, let's go with DC. We'll get them up to level 15 here. And I suppose we can do like 2 more in New York, just to get the bureaucracy a little bit higher. And we have more institutions we can enact as well. And probably should have ticked some of those up to the top. I meant to do those rails, yeah. So we messed this up. I messed it up. I'm gonna include you guys in my screw up though. So let's put the, I guess it was the first 2 rails are the ones needed there the most. I guess Ohio could use there too, so we're gonna put those up there, up at the top. And then let's go ahead and do these government administration buildings too, which would be, let me just take a look here, these ones. So we'll put those 3 up to the top. All right, excellent. So yeah, we'll get those built up, the government administration buildings and the railroads. And Western Australia just ran out of their gold fields, which means they'll actually be able to get more gold from the gold mines. And oil that was discovered in Texas. So again, we don't really have much of a need for oil at the moment. Just not a problem. And you know, it's just one of those issues with the United States because we don't need laborers. We find that, you know, a lot of those production methods that reduce the number of laborers aren't as useful for us. So with the telephone, this unlocks the electronic industries, and that'll allow us to produce telephones using rubber, tools, iron, and lead. Now, one problem, of course, is that we don't have rubber. So I was going to switch those up, you know, start producing telephones and switch the government administration buildings, but we need to fix the rubber issue first, don't we? I hadn't really think about that fact, that we haven't been able to find a good source of rubber just yet, you know, with Cuba only providing a little amount. If Mexico or Liberia will produce, you know, just some rubber for us, it wouldn't be as big of an issue. But of course, they cannot build them unless they themselves have that tech. Liberia is probably behind, so is Mexico, I would assume, behind us. And so therefore, they're probably not going to be able to get these. Because, yeah, they have all these rubber plantations up along here. And so, yeah, we're just going to have to wait until they get the tech and then wait until they actually build them. Just because they have the technology and the ability to build the rubber plantations doesn't mean that they will. So, yeah, we're kind of waiting on them, unfortunately. So, yeah, I probably shouldn't have got that telephone yet. I hadn't thought about the fact that it required the rubber. So, that means we'll also have issues when it comes to the automobile production, producing cars, and all those bonuses for our barracks and stuff. Yeah, we'll have some issues with those due to our lack of rubber, unfortunately. So yeah, I need to fix that issue. But yeah, this is a great way for using our oil that we're going to have. Another way to use that oil, since we're still trying to find a good use of that oil right now, would be to get this here. Because that'll use the oil to produce more fertilizer. And then we can then use that in all of our farms to produce more of the grains. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do next, guys. Just trying to find a use for the oil right now. Because I think it's pretty cheap in our market. And we don't really have the ability to sell it anywhere either. We can take a look and see if anybody wants it. The British are willing to use oil, so we can sell it to them for now. Just to kind of make a little bit of money from that. And gold has been depleted in South Dakota, so we won't take advantage of that here in a minute. Let me just take a look, see if there's anything else might want to start exporting. So we are producing far too many steamers. Okay, so could go ahead and start exporting that then. However, I'm thinking about building up the fleet even further, so maybe we shouldn't do that. Yeah, maybe it would be better to instead make use of those cheap steamers to instead build that up. Because yeah, you're gonna need those in the shipyards because you're gonna need to produce more ships. So yeah, I think we're gonna keep this as is, and let's go and start building up the ports. As far as other high cost here, ironclads are a problem, so you need more shipyards. We are working on that, I believe, or we already got them. Just kind of dip through here and see where we're at. Yeah, we're working on that now, so that'll improve that situation. And then the glass and the tooling workshops, I think we're working on that as well. Steel, on the other hand, I don't think we've done much for that. So let's go ahead and I believe we might actually have something to change here. Let me just take a look real quick before we actually start constructing with it. Maybe not. Okay, so yeah, we'll just go ahead and get more steel mills in. And we have 20 here in Pennsylvania. Started to build them in Ohio as well. So let's go. There will be 2 there. 2 in PA. We also got that gold fields depleted event. And we're going to go with the unfortunate And then we're going to want to build those gold mines and put them up to the top. So we're going to do both of these here. Get ourselves a bit more money. We're actually doing pretty good on money at the moment. So now we need to go ahead and start getting the naval bases built up. This, of course, can give us more interest and just give us more powerful fleet in general. But I think we're going to really pump into the ships now, guys. Let's go with... I'm thinking 20 here in the New England area again. Like 10 here and then 20 here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, guys. So currently have 25 in New York, 20 in Massachusetts. Just kind of looking at where we're all at here, guys. So we should probably base this off the peasant numbers. So let's go with 30 here. So that's 5. Here will be 10. Oops. When we get this up, that'll get us to 15. And then I'm thinking maybe 3 here and 2 here. How are they doing here? Yeah, I guess you could have built it there as well. Yeah, that's fine. That gets us up to, gets those 20 up, and then we need to do 10 down here. Just looking at where we might want to do these. Let's do 5 in Louisiana. They have 210,000 peasants there. Could do Alabama. They don't have a lot of coastline. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense putting a bunch over there. I mean, you can. There's nothing stopping us. Maybe Georgia. Oh, well, there's a lot of... Okay, we should probably put them up here then. Let's do North Carolina. All right, so there's 10 in the southern one. And then here we're probably going to do... just double it all. There we go. All right, so we'll get those constructed eventually. And gold has been depleted in California as well. So we'll get those gold mines there too. And we're gonna do all 3 of them and take them up to the top. Make sure we get those constructed first. All right, so a lot of stuff that we have constructing, so shouldn't have to mess with it too much, though of course we are building so much that that might not actually take that long to get all the way through it. Our current GDP is at 223 million. And so still very much behind the French, but we're catching up to the British, guys. They're only at 277, 278 now. So we're catching up to them, though our GDP is kind of dropping a little bit here. As far as population goes, having some, difficulty catching up to the other powers there. Now they discovered rubber in Haiti as well. So if you conquered both of the states here, you get 16 rubber plantations. Yeah, that would be super useful. Gold has been depleted in Nevada. So we need to get the gold mines there as well. And that's going to be, wow, we can get up to 6 there. And same events here, so let's go with that. Unfortunate and inefficient agriculture. We'll probably lose the opinion with the industrialists. Yeah, they'll still be loyal. Now, I've had several people ask me, if we were going to try and get America's population up to what it was historically, particularly around like 1900 or something like that, which we'd have to make a lot of progress here. I want to say it was like 70-something million. 80 million, somewhere around there. I don't know exactly, but it was, obviously a lot higher than it currently is. And we only have 16 years to get there. I don't think so, guys. One thing to consider, we just got these knocked out. All right, awesome. So that was 3 levels we increased it by. We'll take a look at that in a minute here. But one thing to consider is that the population, I don't think, started historically where it was at 1836. I might be wrong, but I want to say that I had read that they didn't want like the historical population due to balance problems. It was like too many pops or something like that. But I could be wrong on that. We'd have to go back and look, see what our population was at start and see how that compared historically. But I had heard that the population was lower. And I think somebody said something about that in the comments as well. So maybe other people had heard about that or had noticed that the population was lower. So that's something to consider, is that if we started with a lower population, then it'd be more difficult to get to the historical one. We haven't gotten a lot of migration, though. We but it's kind of slowed down a lot. We're not getting quite as much migration as we used to be. So the most dangerous game. Returning from a safari expedition, Obadiah Sears was marooned on a small island in the Scandinavian West Indies. There he was hunted like an animal by the Dutch aristocrat Nicholas, I'm not going to attempt to name that, read that, Van der Oy. So we can say Obadiah had never slept in a better bed. And then he'll die. Okay, so this is a Dutch interest group leader for the landowners, it seems. So it's an event based off of a book called The Most Dangerous Game. Many Americans probably read it. I think it's like more of a short story, but you probably read it in school when you were younger. I recall having to read it. But yeah, that's what that is based off of. And there's something I was going to do here. Oh yes, that's right. We're going to take a look at the institutions. Got distracted by that event. So obviously we need to get more bureaucracy before we can enact any further. But yeah, we got these all up. It's level 3 now. We already have these to level 5. Eventually we want to get them all up to level 5. Probably make a priority of I'm thinking the workplace safety office. You know, this is going to increase minimum wage while also reducing the dangerous working conditions. Keep our people alive more, which is going to be helpful for if we are trying to get population increase a bit faster. And we lost an interest there again, but we're about to get a bunch of interest with all those ships that we're building up. Once we get those constructing and actually have the ships out there, you know, get the population into those locations working, then yeah, we'll see our number of interests increasing significantly. So we have 6 pages right now, but that is something that you'll get, like, we're at the point where you'll be building like 6 pages worth of crap. It can become quite a hassle, I noticed, as you get further in the game as a big country, which is like how much you have to build in order to keep your money being used and your construction sector is always busy. It just feels like you just have to have pages and pages and pages of building set up all the time. So we have Discord within the Intelligentsia. So I believe we've seen this event before. And so we can go with the 15% enactment success chance. We'll lose in pop attraction for the Intelligentsia. Or the Industrialists extend an open hand to these Mavericks. And it's only a 10% increase. But those people who leave the Intelligentsia will go into the Industrialists. Yeah, I think we're just going to go with this one. Get the higher support chance. Try and get that passed as quickly as we can. We did get the expand the oil industry. Excellent. So those were able to make enough money just based on those production methods that we did in order to get that event passed. Alright, so the United States has boosted their confidence when it comes to their future as an oil producer. So we can say get every drop from these wells, 33% oil extractor throughput, or we'll find more things to put oil in. That'll give us a tech bonus, a research bonus for the combustion engine. I suppose we'll go with this, even though we don't actually need more oil right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's still pretty cheap, although we are exporting it now to the British, so they might actually be taking a lot from us. Maybe that export route is the reason why we were able to get that passed. Be able to get that event done, I mean, journal entry. As if maybe we're stepping up our overall trade to them. Yeah, let me just take a look. I'm looking for the oil here. Probably just passing right by it. There it is. So it's actually, yeah, it's 0% right now. So that means we were definitely exporting more than we were before. Yeah, 540. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Had to be coming from those trade routes to the British. So now we're supplying them with oil, which is going to cause massive issues for them, especially if that keeps on stepping up. It's going to cause massive problems for them if they end up going to war with us over Canada. Which, just taking a look at where we're at on the infamy, we're at 33. It's taken a long time to get it down, guys. Quite a long time. We got a Communist Party now, and the Whig Party's back as well. Alright, so we got an election upcoming. Here, the election of 1884. Let's look at the projected vote. Whigs are looking to get 34% of the vote. Communist 24%, 28% for the Democratic Party, and Free Trade Party is 12%. So the Whigs, again, are going to come in here and dominate. You know, guys, I forgot to do something in the beginning of this episode. So this here is an isolated state region because it doesn't have access to our market. It doesn't have a port, and it also doesn't have a land border connection. So therefore, they are not able to access the American market at all, 0%, nor can we access any of the goods here. And that also means they can't get any migration either. There's no way to migrate here. So I meant to do this in the beginning of the episode and I forgot. We're supposed to build a port here. So let's go ahead and start with the construction of that port. So that is no longer going to be an issue. And I put that at the very top as well. So that should help with migration there, so that we can hopefully have enough people to work the Panama Canal once it's constructed. We could also do a decree too, though I wasn't going to do this in the beginning of the video simply because we are working on a law here. We wanted to do that first. So yeah, we'll work on that law, and once it's done, we could go ahead and do that one decree, the Greener Pastures decree, in order to get more people to that location. I'm seeing a lot more rubber being discovered. And so yeah, all these are all throughout Central America here. And that would be one way if we wanted to be more imperialist, to get more rubber is just conquer territory. We've already talked about Haiti, of course, but there's a lot of other places too if we wanted to continue building up our rubber. But I know a lot of people were concerned, that with us not colonizing Africa or Asia, that we wouldn't have any rubber. But it does seem like there is a lot of rubber here in the Americas. Now, will it be enough? I don't know. We might have to trade for some. And we're actually done with a bunch of construction here. So let's go ahead and see what we need to produce next. There's actually quite a few things that you can produce here, but we don't have the population to do that. So I'll have to hold off on that. So could go ahead and try and buy more rubber. We can see if there is any available. Nope. We'll keep on dipping in there and taking a look, but yeah. Until other countries start needing rubber, you're not going to see them building it. Even if they do need it, they might still not build it. So we've already got the shipyards. Maybe they're still hiring people. Let me just give this a second real quick. No, looks like that's not the case. We did pass private health insurance. All right, so we'll have to keep our eye on that, because I'd like to see if we do end up getting higher mortality reduction for wealthy pops, or if it's just always more beneficial to go with the public health insurance in the game. But yeah, let's go and get some stuff constructed, because yeah, we're earning like 200-something thousand right now. Investment pool sitting at 481,000, so a lot of money for us to be spending. Clearly, we need more shipyards. So let's go ahead and start with that, since yeah, these are very expensive with all the construction we've done. So yeah, let's go and build up more shipyards here, guys. So as far as where we're going to do it, probably going to continue in these same locations here. So yeah, we'll go up by 2. In fact, you know what? They have a lot more peasants here, so we're just going to build in these locations. And we'll just get up to like 15 in New York, and then maybe 12 in Massachusetts. So that should hopefully be good when it comes to shipyards. Let me take a look at the other stuff we can build here. So hardwood, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that we already flipped over all of the logging camps, so they're all focusing on hardwood, but maybe not. No. So there's actually quite a few locations apparently. Jesus, I can't just get this clicked on where we're not doing the hardwood. All right. So I believe the cost of wood is only slightly under the hardwood. So we're just going to build these instead, the logging camps, rather than switching those up for now. Because yeah, we're going to still need lots of this. And big reason why we can't keep up with this is because every time we build more of these and the wood gets cheaper is all those trade routes we have. They're just stepping up how much they're trading for, because everybody needs our wood. So yeah, we'll just continue stepping up wood production, and again, kind of just basing this on standard of living here. And really focusing on areas, if they have the peasant population, like right here can support some, they could get 1 level. So we'll do that. Yeah, they do not have the peasants there. Yeah, just kind of basing it off of, again, just basing off the standard of living, because this is our main tool we have to increase this. So yeah, we're going to step it up over here in Jersey. Get a couple in Kansas. Does Texas have a lot of capacity here? Not really. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get very high with the logging camps, but we can build a couple levels here in Texas, since the standard of living is a little bit lower there. Just kind of build all these locations up. Get them up to, both these up to level 5 here. And we'll do these ones as well. Alright, so it looks pretty good. Could do West Virginia as well, and North Carolina. Also New Hampshire. There we go. And this will just be our way of spreading the wealth around is through the logging camps. Since pretty much every state we have can get logging camps, at least some degree of them. As you saw in Texas, can't get a ton of them. But yeah, the election's almost here. And we'll see if we want to make any adjustments to our government. And we did also just pass that trade unions are now powerful, while the Southern planters are no longer influential. Alright, so looking at them here, you can see they're no longer even mentioned, the Southern planters, because they become so marginalized. So therefore, they're less than 5%, and they're not even of consequence. But the industrialists, it looked like they lost a little bit of their power, as the trade unions, who are in the Communist Party, have gone up to 20.3%. So very, very high. The intelligentsia is up there with those three as well. So if we just take a look at our government here, our legitimacy is at 57%. Okay, so how can we get this up a little bit higher? Probably not going to be passing any laws anytime soon. I don't think there's really anything else that we really have to do right now. I think we'll likely leave everything as is. I'm trying to think if there's anything in here besides the free speech one, which eventually would want to change up. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could change it now, but yeah, I just don't want to piss off the armed forces. I'd like to keep that bonus that we're currently getting from them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And, you can do that with either the trade unions or intelligentsia in there. Could go, further on this one to get the old age pension. But yeah, there's really not much else to be done here, guys. We're pretty much done with our laws for the most part. So yeah, I don't think it really matters who we have in government, outside of just having... Yeah, well, even with the legitimacy, it doesn't really matter, since legitimacy isn't of much consequence either at this point. So, yeah, it really doesn't matter. But yeah, you could throw the Whigs in and have all three of them in here for a higher legitimacy. Put those armed forces in there, it's going to drop it. Yeah, we'll just do this and have all three of them in. Why not? They all share power. Just to have the higher legitimacy. Again, it's not a very important factor at this moment. Once they do those adjustments to it, we'll see it's be very different. Man, look at how much money we're currently earning, despite all this construction. So we could go ahead and do more construction at a time if we're going to continue earning this much money. There's really no reason not to. We could also change up our expenses, give a little bit more support for the military. Get the 2+ armed forces approval, so you could always do that. You can further tick down the taxes. We could get rid of the service consumption taxes. That's 90,000 revenue though, so it's a sizable amount. And looks like we just ran out of investment pool. Okay, so that's the reason why it was so high. I was wondering. I was like, man, we're sitting on so much money. We need to make use of that. But yeah, it was because it was the investment pool that we're making use of, because we had that stacked up a little bit. So we're still doing pretty good though. So I think we're gonna go ahead and step up construction a bit further, guys. So let's just go like up by 2 in New York, up by 2 in Pennsylvania. Maybe one more in a couple other locations. Yeah, it looks pretty good, guys. And we probably should have took those up to the top too. Oh, so we don't have as many pages as we once had. So we'll take these up to the top, and basically we're gonna need to start finding what we're going to be constructing next. So glass is still very costly. So we're going to need to get more of that producing. So it's going to work on that now. So glass works. And as far as where we're going to build these, I mean, you can build them in any of these zones if you want to step those up a bit higher. All of them still have a large peasant population. Let me see if there's anywhere that has a large peasant population other than New York where we haven't built the glass works yet. Texas's population is gotten higher. Yeah, I think we're just going to continue to allow these three to kind of dominate this. And you know what, we're gonna do like 5 in each of these. Let me see if there's any other locations. Maybe Maryland. Yeah, that looks pretty good, guys. Now we also have a shortage of rubber. It's become such a problem. But again, there's really not much we can do. But the shortage is a massive penalty. So all we could really do, I think, is change up the production methods that are currently using it, so that you're using less. But yeah, we want to keep the military ones, so it's really just the textile mills. That's all you can do there. We have to get more rubber, essentially. So maybe what we should do is annex Liberia? Suppose we could do that, though. I think that we wouldn't have that as an option right now. Yeah, because the opinion with them is too high. And so yeah, we wouldn't be able to annex them at the moment, unfortunately. So yeah, can't annex them. I can't annex Mexico either. So yeah, there's really no way to do it that way. Yeah, we're just gonna have to conquer territory, guys. I want to get the infamy a bit lower, but yeah, we might have to go after Haiti before we go after Canada, unfortunately. And this could end up resulting in us having to fight other countries. As of right now, you know, there's nobody that they're allied with or anything. But look at all these other countries that have interest here. You know, Britain does, France does, Spain, Austria, the Russians. All the great powers practically do. Scandinavia. So yeah, you don't know what's going to end up happening there. But other countries could very much get involved. That could be a real possibility. So the shipyards, I think we have gotten all those constructed. Nope, we haven't. It's just taken a really long time. Okay, so that's one reason that hasn't been solved yet. Swedes are now going to Ohio. Okay, they were going to Cuba. They switched up their place of migration. Looks like they wanted somewhere colder. More reminds them of home. Cuba a little bit too tropical for them, perhaps. And more gold discovered in California. All right, excellent. So that'll help us out, and we'll have that gold rush too. So let's go ahead and I guess we'll do the mine hits online again, and also we have another one for oil here. We're gonna do the same option with the caution, and so now we've got the potential for oil, more oil potential here in California. And we're not using all that new production just yet, so let's go ahead and make sure we're capitalizing on that. Engines have gotten expensive again, which is actually a good thing, because yeah, they were having some problems here in Michigan with the motor industries. And I'm thinking about spreading this out a little bit. We got up to 20 levels here. I think we're going to do another motor industry somewhere else now. As far as where we're going to do it, I'm thinking somewhere where the GDP is a little bit lower but has peasant population. I think that would be good. So just take a look at, again, we can't really sort by GDP, but what we can do is sort by the taxes. So you can see here, New Mexico and Texas, you know, they're costing us more than they're actually earning us. And look at the wages here in Texas. 5.03, pretty low overall. Not the lowest, but certainly very low for how much industry we built there. So I think Texas is going to be the site of our new motor industry, guys. They have a lot of peasants here. And so let's go ahead and build this up to level 5. That's going to be the site of our new motor industry. We'd also do California as well, because, you know, they got all those people that are going to be flocking there soon. With that medium attraction rate. All the gold and oil and stuff that's been found there. A lot of natural resources. So, yeah, you're going to see that we'll have a lot of excess peasants there as well. Oh, we didn't use all our production. So let's go ahead and do the engines here as well, guys. Kind of spread them out a little bit. We've had them in just Michigan so far, but now we'll have them in 3 different states. But that might bring the cost down too low. We'll have to see, guys. We can always build more rails up. Let me just see if there's anywhere that needs rails right now. No, but we do need to take a look at our interest now that we got the fleet built up further. Just looking at our fleet now, we're at 122 ships currently. So, you know, it's respectable, but still significantly lower. Well, you'll see with the non-naval focused great powers like Russia and Austria, we've caught up to them or surpassed them. So, doing much better with our fleet. It just doesn't compare to, the British or the French fleets. But the French actually have the largest fleet in the world right now. Yeah, we built up our ships some and looking much better overall. So we're still working on the shipyards, and I think wood is what we're going to continue getting. Let me just take a look at the actual wood cost. So yeah, we might go ahead and switch some of those up then. That's clearly we are producing too much wood and not enough hardwood. That'll be in the rural. So go into these logging camps here. I was thinking about doing it anyway. We can go and switch some of these up. I'm tempted to switch them all up, but I think that would result in problems if we did, where the wood would get too expensive and the hardwood would get too cheap. So yeah, you definitely don't want to switch them all up. Although again, I kind of feel like some of those are wrong, and like they're not very accurate. So Michigan, Vermont, New Hampshire, just seeing where all we could switch these, and we'll do New Mexico as well. So that's probably good, and then we'll just want to produce more wood. Let me just see where it's sitting at now, the hardwood cost. Yeah, that helped out a little bit, but not as much as it was indicating. And the wood got a little bit more expensive. Again, I kind of feel like those are just really inaccurate. I wonder what would happen if you just changed them all up. I don't think it would be as drastic as they're indicating that it would be. So let's go back down the logging camps and let's just take a look at this. So as you can see, it's saying here that wood's going to get super, super expensive and hardwood's going to get super cheap. I don't think that'll happen. We could just look at this as it happens. And yeah, you see hardwood's 22%. Nowhere near as cheap as they said it was going to be. And then look at the wood. I bet the wood is nowhere near expensive. It went up by 1%. Yeah, those predictive things. Like I said, the more and more I play Victoria, the more and more I know not to trust them. They seem pretty inaccurate overall. And I was kind of surprised when they revealed that they were going to do that, because I was like, man, how's that going to work? Like, how's it going to, predict all the different factors that influence the prices and stuff? So I was a little, in disbelief that it was going to work effectively, and of course it didn't. So I suppose no surprise there. So yeah, we're just going to step all these up to like level 10 at least here. And yeah, let's just sort this by peasant population. We can do some in Ohio, but they don't have a high capacity there. I guess New York doesn't have a high capacity either. We're going to build all the way up in Texas. A couple more in North Carolina. Yeah, just really stepping up in all these places that have a lot of peasant population here. Go up to 5 there. Yeah, they just have so many people here. I guess we can go all the way up in New Jersey, so no more construction that we can do there. When it comes to wood, all the way up in Illinois as well. Kentucky, we haven't built there apparently, or Tennessee, or Louisiana. So yeah, really just stepping up the production here, and then we'll just trade it all away. So that'll be our focus. Now there are other things we need as well, so we can't just build the wood, and we'll kind of work these in there, I suppose. But we did get this. All right, excellent. So we're going to want to change up the production methods for these now. So that's in the chemical plants and then all of the farms. So yeah, let's go ahead and just change them all, is what I'm thinking. We'll just kind of, if it's too much, then we'll react to that. I suppose we can start with the chemical plants. And so this will reduce the value, reduce their income significantly, because fertilizer would be too cheap, and now you got to pay for the really expensive oil. Sulfur gets more expensive, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think there's gonna be a problem, because fertilizer will get more expensive as we change up those farms, and then we can do a lot to get the oil to be a lot cheaper. We actually want some demand for oil, so that's the whole reason why we got that. So yeah, let's go and change up all the farms. We're gonna just do them all, regardless of what it tells me. We're gonna change them all up. And I think that's it. Now, we haven't gotten automatic irrigation. I got all excited about getting this, and then we went to make the engines cheaper, and I forgot. And that's one of the problems of where you say, oh, I want to change this production method, but first I got to get this thing. And then you forget, especially when you're doing Let's Play and you're only playing every every few days. You go like a couple days not playing, then you forget. So yeah, we can drastically reduce the price of a lot of our plantation goods, our cash crops, with just using engines. So yeah, we already started working on that industry, and we can build it up even further. But let's go ahead and switch them all up now, just because, as you guys seen, if I don't do it now, I'll forget. So yeah, we'll switch them all up. Fabric's going to become stupidly cheap. Probably too cheap. But again, this could be completely inaccurate. But we're going to change all of them up because I don't care. So yeah, we're going to change them all up. Just make sure there's nothing else in here that maybe we might need to change. Let's kind of dip through here, see if there's anything that is like, you know, kind of screams out to us that needs to be adjusted. Like, for instance, we were trying to find other things that require oil. Vacuum cleaning. Here you go. Also make grain super cheap. Fish going to be really expensive, according to this, of course. But yeah, we're going to get the grocery price down, which is something I wanted to do. So we're going to produce more of that. Yeah, just kind of go through here. Again, sometimes you just need to do this every once in a while. You just need to sweep through here and then, you know, make all the adjustments all at once. Just makes it kind of easier. All right, so I think that's good. And we need to get a new tech as well. So as far as production techs, there's a lot of stuff for us to get here. I almost want to go for that for the steel mills. I think that would be useful. This is going to be helpful too. We can't get that due to the lack of rubber. But we could do this for the motor industries, and we can speed that up. So we're actually going to go ahead and do that. Get it a little bit faster since it's already getting the natural spread. So we'll do that, and then I don't know if we're going to actually need more engines. So let me just let this play for a week, and let me just take a look at where our prices are at now. So rubber's still a problem, obviously. Oil is now super expensive. We got lots of stuff we can do to improve that situation there. The ironclads, we're already working on trying to improve that. Same thing here, but the fish, we're not getting anything there. So yeah, fish and iron. And of course, we have a shortage of the engines. So might want to throw those up at the top. One of those motor industries. And get those produced as quickly as we possibly can. And then the oil as well. Now fish I think can wait a little bit, so we'll just throw those on the bottom. But yeah, with the oil, I think we should get that. Alright, so as of right now, Pennsylvania has the 5 there. Let's go ahead and step this up quite a bit. Build in Pennsylvania, Texas, California, and Kansas. You actually do have the peasant population to build here as well, so we'll get 2 there. And hopefully that's not too much. We'll see, guys. Alright, so we got that going, and then the fish. Now I should have put some of those oil ones up at the top. You know what? I think it's probably fine, guys. Because yeah, we don't really have that much stuff. I know it's 6 pages, but with how fast we're constructing, it's really not that much. Sulfur, I think, is something we also looked at as something we might need to get, but let's do these fish first. So as far as where we want to get the fish, there's so many different options, because it's all coastal territory, has at least some capacity for fish. I suppose we should base this off of the peasant population then. And then we'll get Massachusetts going there. I guess Texas can get some more. Alright, so that looks pretty good. And so hopefully that will fix our economy. Because some things are incredibly expensive right now. That shortage on the engines is a real problem. We might want to take a look, see what we're all trading as well. We're exporting oil still, and it's clearly not beneficial to us because oil's so expensive. We can always change that if it gets expensive again. I feel like this is still going to be a problem, guys, so we're actually not going to change that up. Let's trade at a loss for a little while. It's not typically too big of a deal. If the trade center is making a bunch of money from all the other trade routes, then they can eat a loss on 1 or 2 trade routes, and it's not a problem. Now we're also exporting hardwood, quite a bit of hardwood, in fact. And so that was one reason why it's so much more expensive. But I don't think we're going to do anything about it because these are the things we want to export: is wood and hardwood. Look at how much wood we're giving to the French. Quite a bit. Silk is fine. Yeah, I think we're pretty much good on everything. You probably export more tobacco. Yeah, I might want to take a look, see if there's anything else we could be exporting. I think all these other trade routes are fine. Let me just see if there's anything we might want to start exporting by a bit more. So yeah, steamers, now that we built all those, this becomes stupidly cheap. Wow. Yeah, very, very cheap here, guys. I think it's fine for now, but yeah, eventually that could become a problem here. We'll take a look at it again in a little bit. But the tobacco, I think, could be exported further. So yeah, let's go and start up another export route for tobacco. See which one's most profitable. Well, you can get a lot into the French market here. Yeah, considerable amount. It's very profitable. Yeah, why not? We'll give it to the French. Does mean we're probably going to have to produce more tobacco fields because, yeah, that's going to get expensive. All right, so clearly the problem is we're not producing enough ironclads and producing too much of the steamers, but I want to say we've already set them all. I can double check on that, but I want to say we've already set them to all focus on the military. Yeah, extensive military shipbuilding. So there's nothing else you can really do there besides exporting the steamers and then to keep building those, which I guess is what we're going to have to do. Because frankly, this is too cheap for them to make any profit. So we're going to have to export at least some of it. How much can we export? A few hundred? It doesn't look like there's a high demand for a lot of these, but that'll probably step up. So I'm going to sell this to Scandinavia. And maybe the French as well. All right, excellent. So we do need to get this influence back. We don't need to continue doing this any longer, guys. We've gotten what we wanted from them. We'll keep these three going, though, for now. Yeah, we'll keep all three of them going. With the Russians, what I'm hoping to do is just keep it high for if we're able to ever do this, negotiate the Alaska purchase. Of course, the problem here is that, you know, not only do you have to have the relations above 20, but Russia has to be either taking loans or in default. So they're currently not. You know, they have a very large economy. The guys seems to be for the big countries to be all right. It's not, you know, getting too deep in debt or anything. Maybe a little too conservative with it, because yeah, they could be increasing their GDP by more than they do. But they do all right. I mean, like you're seeing here, like France is at 334. Great Britain is catching up to them. Right when we were trying to catch up to the British, they have expanded up their GDP considerably, and so now we're still behind them, but we've caught up overall to the leaders. We're doing much better as we focus so much on construction here. We got the electric railways. So these electric engines are going to be super helpful. That'll increase the amount of engines that we're producing. Will cost still electricity, but yeah, we can deal with that. Logging camps, yeah, that's just reducing laborers. And then the refrigerated rail cars will also reduce the amount of laborers, but again, that's not really a problem for our country. So this is the big one here, guys, the electric engines, and we're going to switch all those up. I think if engines get too cheap, I don't think it'll be much of an issue, honestly, because we can, you know, easily just produce more trains, more railways. So yeah, let's go and switch over to that. And even then, you see that it's according to this, which again is wrong all the time. Engines will still not be, you know, too cheap anyway. Might not be able to make much of a profit. I don't know. That's clearly going to take from their revenue. But part of that's because electricity is going to be so expensive, so we can easily fix that. So let's go and switch over to the electric engines, and then we're going to need to, let me just see if we're building anything for electricity. I don't think so. It's all logging camps and motor industries at the moment. Yeah, most of this is all logging camps here. We got a lot of those going, but we can step up the oil some, so should do that. Clearly should do that. So let's go ahead and tick up, I don't know, a few of these. Let's see if there's anything else we might want to throw up there. The fishing wharfs, maybe get a couple. So we need to get more electricity in New York here. And I don't know if that will be good. And what we'll want to do is tick up like just one or two of them up to the top, so that we're at least constructing some of those. And then rails. More rails, guys, because transportation has gotten more expensive. Let me see if anywhere needs it. No. And I didn't take a look at the interest either. Of course, there's always so many things that need to be done. Newark is a priority there with only the 10 infrastructure. Actually, we're going to get 2 levels going there. Let's kind of dip around and look at our territories and see, you know, who needs it. So clearly Virginia needs it. Maybe Florida? Nope, not Florida. But yeah, I just wish there was an easier way to sort this. Ohio needs it. Yeah, most of this area shouldn't be too bad because we looked at it last time. How about California? Nope, California's good to go. Alright, so we look like we're in a good situation, but what about up here? Nope, up there's all good too. We've been building there a little bit, so I wasn't entirely sure. How about Kansas? Good there too. Cuba? I could use it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and build here. Maybe 2 levels there. And then also a level here. So we do currently have the canal. The reason why it's not saying that it's completed is because the workforce occupancy needs to be at 90%. And that's going to be a problem here because they're not, I mean, they have a high attraction, but yeah, they don't have the necessary peasants. And so we might want to do something about that to try and improve the situation there. I think we will do that here in a minute. Just kind of show you where we're sitting at. And yeah, that's the problem. They just can't get the necessary employees. Also, they're not producing anything, so they're always going to be at a negative weekly balance here. So let's go in and subsidize them. Because yeah, they just produce prestige and urbanization, so they should already just start out subsidized, honestly. Because they don't produce anything for you. So yeah, I'll just cover any loss here, and this should help them be more productive. But they're still going to have a shortage of employees, guys. That's still going to be an issue regardless. So let's go ahead and put a decree there to get more people to move to Panama. Now, again, we're already seeing a very high attraction, but we could step that up further. Although maybe you don't need to. Yeah, this might actually step up on its own with that high attraction. So yeah, you might not even need to, but we're not using the authority for anything else, so why not? So we're going to go ahead and do a decree here for the greener grass campaign. Give them 50% migration. And then we need to go ahead and get a tech selected as well. So this is the coal-fired plants for the power plants. And we have so much coal. And I think that could be useful. Because right now we're building those power plants in just one location. So I think that's what we're going to actually go ahead and get. There's also tractors too, using coal and engines to reduce the amount of laborers. But yeah, we don't need to do that. And then I think we looked at this one as well to produce more steel. So that one could be good to have too. I suppose we need both of those. But let's go with this one first, I believe. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure which one is more expensive at the moment. Electricity or the steel. I think it's electricity. So let's go with that one. Let's get that researched. And I do believe that's probably going to have to be the end of today's episode. GDP has increased a lot, but still behind the British by 30 million. But not as far behind the French. We're catching up to them. Breton people are moving to Texas. Everybody trying to take advantage of that the new industry that we built there. But yeah, this will not be completed though until we can get that 90% here, guys. And I think it will get better now that we're subsidizing them. Yeah, it might climb up. But yeah, they're going to have problems with population. What they're going to essentially be doing is probably bringing in people from that port until other people move in here. With the subsidies, they'll be able to like outbid them and take people from the port. But maybe not. Or maybe they're just building up from the new people coming in. Maybe that's going at a fast enough rate. And the French want a trade agreement. So here's the thing with trade agreements. They're both a negative and positive. So if they're trading for a lot of your goodies, they have a lot of trade routes going to you, then you're making a ton of money off of those trade routes. And so if you give them the trade agreement, then you're going to lose all those tariffs. And that's a lot of money that you're going to lose. I think somebody stated for the last time we lost the trade agreement with the French, I think somebody said that we were instantly earning 20,000 more just because, we were now getting those tariffs. Now, with all the trade that we're doing with the French, it's probably worth significantly more than that. So we'll see our revenues drop quite a bit. However, it's not like you're just giving up that money because you're also getting those bonuses for your own people. All those people who are trading with the French, which are a lot, they're paying tariffs over here. And that means that's less taxable income for you because they're not making as much. So there is a bit of money that you're losing due to your pops paying tariffs, but most importantly, that's hurting them. It's hurting their money. That's the most important aspect. They're not making as much as they could. So it's kind of a trade-off. Do you want the money yourself, or do you want it to your pops and get a little bit less in taxes, or sometimes a lot less in taxes? So I'd love to hear you guys' opinion on this. Do you think we should open up the trade agreement with the French again? Give up a nice little chunk of money that we're making in tariffs to help our pops out, make more money, so they don't have to pay tariffs in France. We'd also be helping France out too. Or do you think we should just say no and not have a trade agreement with them and just keep making this tariff income? Let me know down in the comments below. So as far as our infamy, we've got it down to 24.8, so we are below 25, which is where you want to have it. So we're almost there, guys. We're able to attack Haiti, which I think is probably going to be the necessary conquest. Now we could go after the Central American countries too. They have rubber plantations, so I guess that would be an option if you didn't want to go after Haiti. Yeah, you could go after Guatemala, which has more, and they fought on Mexico's side. So could do that instead, but they do have a different diplomatic situation here. Let me just see. Yeah, there's nobody that's in a defensive pact or anything. But it is a different interest area too, so that's another thing to consider. That looks like mostly the same countries all involved here. Well, honestly, it does seem like the great powers are less interested in Central America than they are in the Caribbean, which makes sense. So yeah, really it's just the British. So it probably would be safer attacking down here as well. So I think that's what we will end up doing. And then I suppose you could keep going down. Now you got more rubber plantations if that's the way you want to go about doing it, and just could conquer all the way down here and connect with Panama. So I suppose that would be an option too, but eventually we need to conquer this Canadian territory. I feel like you got to fix this here. It's kind of a mess. So eventually we do need to get Canada fought, but we got to fix the rubber situation. So yeah, I think attacking Guatemala first will be in our best interest. And yeah, if we just do the annex of them, I don't know. Let me just take a look how much that would take. So if we were to just annex their territories, 13.2. Okay. So I want to burn it off a little bit more, I think. So maybe burn off about half of what we currently have. Get rid of 12 or so, and then we'll declare war. So maybe next episode, we'll start the war over Guatemala. Get ourselves a bit more rubber. So I do hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one. And thanks for watching.